Hey, Trent Hyatt from Sky Insurance Tech, and today we have our CEO Mark Combs delivering a motivational speech to our employees. Mark talks about success in the workplace, and he covers the formula needed for personal achievement. This includes improving the quality of your work life, working efficiently, and focusing on the importance of teamwork in an organization. Hopefully, if you follow this, it'll help you and others when you look to achieve success in the workplace yourselves. So don't forget to like this video, click the subscribe button, and we'll be making content like this regularly. Stay tuned.
Okay, so last week we talked about something. I just wanted, because Trent and I and Brian ended up spending more time talking about it. It's worth doing again, actually, just because I want to talk, even prefacing that to say, like, all of this, like when I go through something, if I go through a training like this, there is no ulterior motive, all right? The ulterior motive is that we all had to get our ass up out of bed this morning and go do something. And you might as well do something that you're actually enjoying and that you're growing as a human being. And so it isn't always about making more money. It's about more than that. It is for me. I hope it is for you guys too. And so how we think about what we do is everything. That makes a difference in the type of spouse you are, the type of friend you are, the type of anything. And so you can tell what somebody thinks by looking at them. That's just reality. That's not my rule. That's just observation and reading and studying and realizing, dang, that really is true. You can look at a human being. You can look at Trent and understand that he thinks about dieting and thinks about his health a lot, because if he didn't, his body wouldn't look that way. You can take that same example through everything. And so when we start talking about, I know we talked about last week that we all want to make more money. Everybody wants to make more money. I want everyone to make more money. And that formula that I just came up with that. I didn't write that. I didn't read that anywhere. I might have read it somewhere, but I've actually thought about it a little bit more, and it's worth going back over and talking about it a little bit more. And so we talked about, okay, everybody wants to make more money, but how does that happen? That it's not the first thing you need to buy into this. It is not an accident. There is a formula. There is a way that this happens. Now, you don't have to agree with the formula. I don't necessarily agree, but you do have to comply with it, or you're going to be frustrated, extremely frustrated, because if you want the world to be different than it is, you're going to be pissed a lot, because the world kind of is what it is until you change it. All right, and so go change it, but in the meantime, this is just the reality of it. You get paid based on the quality of your work. All right, so we talked about that. You have to do high quality work. So, all right, that makes sense intuitively. We go, all right, we have the ability to do a good job. That makes sense. The higher, if you're doing a higher quality, I gave the example of if you go to a restaurant and you have a waiter or waitress that does a lot higher quality, they're going to make more money, right? But it's not just that. We started breaking it down more. And you remember the next thing we did? It's really that times the quantity. The quantity of work you do is critically important. So the skills that you develop that allow you to do that are important. Let's just take an example. Let's say, for instance, you had two like-situated people in our organization, in any organization, okay? They both do high-quality work. People love them. The clients love them. One knows how to type. One does not know how to type. Okay, which one is going to make more money? The one that knows how to type, right? Because they have built the ability to communicate back to the client. They can do more. If one person is sitting here like this and another person is like this on multiple screens and all the rest, they're getting more done. Now, you'll notice if you watch me work, that's something I learned a long time ago. And leveraging that is something that I've always thought is very important. So anytime you can take a class, anytime you can learn something, every single one of us could benefit from sitting 30 minutes with Kim on Excel. I know Excel, I would be considered a super user. I don't know what that is, but I do know that there are some things there that she has the ability to do that none of us know how to do. And so you go, okay, well, you think about the right times to do that and what have you, but you get the point that developing your skills is important. All of this stuff too is hard, right? But everything is hard until it's easy, right? It was, I told you guys when, and it's not by accident. Like when I started, a lot of people will say, okay, well, Guy, you're in your early 40s and you've been really successful and everything, but they don't see the fact that when I was 21, I stopped listening to the radio, right? All I did was study, even in the car. And you can get the equivalent of an MBA every 3 years by turning off the frickin' radio, right? Because you're in the car a lot. And so you don't have to do that. You don't have to do any of this. None of us do, but we can't bitch and complain about the outcome. All right, so it's like if we're really fed up, if we really do want something different, then damn it, do something about it. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to do it for you. And frankly, do you want them to? I mean, I'm at the stage in my life I think about my children. And so do I want to do it for them? I destroy them as a human being if I don't give them a chance to grow and to struggle themselves. And so was it hard? Yes, it was hard. Was it worth it? Eventually. But here's the problem. It requires risk. Right? What is the risk? And this is everyone's bottom line. It's going to come down to risk. The risk is it doesn't pay off. That's the risk. And so the risk is that you study and that you work hard and you develop your skills and nothing ever changes. The problem is no one can ever point to an example where that actually happened. That's the problem with that, is that it always ends up converting eventually. All right, so the next thing we did, we said, all right, it's the quality of your work times the quantity of your work times how you do the work, your attitude. If you're a terrible human being to be around, you can do great work and super high quality, super high quantity work, and you're not going to get anywhere because no one can be around you, right? And so, fortunately, we don't have that problem. A lot of organizations have that problem. We'll leave it at that. Everyone's had experiences of having that problem, right? And so you've had that problem. You've experienced that with me personally because we're not a vacuum, right? We bring all of our baggage to work with us, and hopefully we love each other and we're compassionate enough, we're patient enough, and which you guys certainly are with me, or you wouldn't still be here, to be able to deal with that kind of stuff. But then we talked about, all right, so that sort of explains the differences in compensation in our organization as well as every organization. But there's something that I kind of missed. There's a couple of other things that I put in here, but there's one that I want to put in right here, okay? All right, and so if you listen to me on this, you might lose your job, okay? That would be a good thing, all right? Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that I'm going to fire you. I'm going to say you might lose your current job. And what that comes down to is the type of work. Okay, so what am I meaning by this? All right, you think about the organization, or think about you as a person rather. The quality of work that you're contributing to wherever, the quantity of work, how you're doing it, the work. All right, so let's say that, man, we've all seen this. You are killing it. Your quality is through the roof. It is incredible. Your quantity of work, you run circles around everybody else. And how you do it, you have a fantastic approach or whatever. And the type of work is you sell popsicles. Okay. You're limited there, right? Now, could you take that and end up owning popsicle stands all across the United States and across the world? Yes, you could. I see these popsicles. There's people that have done that, right? But that will limit you. All right. So why am I saying you might lose your job? Everyone's job only pays so much depending upon the position that you're in. If you are in a popsicle stand position in any organization, you are capped by that. So it does not matter how good you do. And so our organization is fine, right? We've been very blessed. We're fine. Honestly, if every single one of you guys are doing what you currently are doing in 5 years, I'm very disappointed in you because you have more skills than that. Now, what is my goal? My goal is to work my ass off to make sure that those opportunities are here. But if they are not, I will applaud you. I will get you the interview. I will get you to where you want to go personally. And so you have to apply this to you. This isn't about Mark, Mark has made his money, right? Mark is accomplishing his goals, and we all are to a certain degree. But if we're all serious about wanting more, then you have to do that. You have to be realistic. You have to be honest with yourself about where you are. And so then we talked about, all right, so we're building out our formula, and we're saying, what's the next thing? Now, this thing is the difference between, like, Trent and I as owners of multiple companies, right, and a lot of other people, and that's knowing what to do. Knowing. The ability to look at every single thing in a universe that's going on and pick the one and go, that's the one that we need to do next, and then that one, and then that one. Why? Because that's the way to do it. Because if you do that one first, you're going to have to answer to a client, which is going to cause you problems, which is going to do this, which is going to that, and you have to do that one first because you have to set the foundation. Being able to pick that out. Now, how does that happen? You do it wrong a bunch, right? So think about, all right, as owners of an organization, think about this from an entrepreneurial, because whenever you start talking like this, people go, I need to go do something. Maybe, but maybe not. So, but think about Trent and I, when we decided, we took a blank piece of paper, right? One of these with nothing on it. And we said, we're going to do something different. What was our quality of work? Zero. What was our quantity of work? It was a lot, but it was all over the place. I mean, it wasn't on this piece of paper. It was over that. We had no idea what to do. And so we entered into a period of time to where we didn't know and our attitude was great attitude, doing it. We worked our tails off to really do it. We were counting on the type of work. We were counting on the fact that the type of work that we could figure out the ability to do could create so much value that we could make up this stuff in the long run. But we went to zero. We went to literally deadlined on, because we were zero quality. We had no idea what we're doing. If you have a zero anywhere in like a multiplication, you have zero. You have nothing coming in. And so we had to figure those things out, and it took time, but it was a price we were willing to pay. And so it's always easy to look when people are like, oh man, it must be nice to do X, Y, Z or whatever. We just laugh because it wasn't on accident, right? It's not a surprise. Now, when you're going through that process, what are you terrified of? The risk. What is the risk? The risk is that you do it all and it never pays off. But is that any different than any other risk we take? You think about the risk of loving someone that, like, if you're ever in a relationship with anybody for any period of time, they are going to do something to screw it up. And so what's the risk that you're taking? Well, you take lots of risks to decide to love them again, decide to forgive them. What if they do it again? It's risk. There's risk in every relationship and everything that we do. So we talked about the type of work, but then the one common thing that you really have to think about, you're multiplying all these, but you have to raise it to time. Time is a big deal, right? You can do high quality work, lots of it, with a great attitude, do the right type of works, and know what to do for 15 minutes, and you're not going to get very far. You have to be willing to do it over and over and over again. And this is where the risk really enters in, because people go, what if I take that attitude? What if I just stop listening to the dang radio, but I do it for 10 years and nothing happens? Oh man, that would be terrible. The biggest thing that you'll find, though, in any of this, when you really start to think about it, though, is that your thinking is going to change. Your life is going to change pretty much immediately. You can decide to start thinking differently. I've heard I've heard lots of different ways that this is put, but Christians would say, there's the word repent. I've heard that, that lots of people will say, well, that means stop sinning, everything. Okay, well, I'm not going to go there, but there's a terminology that it says, think again. All right, I think it's a word called metanoia. I think it literally means stop, just rethink about that one. Think through that one. Just give that one another shot. Think again. And we all can do that, right? We all have various spots in our lives to where the people around us would be loved better, would be cared for better, that we'd be happier if we can do that. But it takes a lot of risk to do it because we have to die a little bit, right? We have to give up the stuff that we don't want to, right? Nobody wants to do the hard work. But what you'll find is that even when you begin to change your thinking, your life will change radically, even though your circumstances haven't changed. But it's just natural law. It is going to change. So again, as I wrap this up, this isn't about me and what I want. I have a lot of what I want in life, and I am on the fast track to get there. This is about, what do y'all want, right? I mean, so we love each other. We care for one another. So what do you want? If what you want, I will tell you, I believe what a lot of you guys want, your current type of work will not get you there. It will not get you there, right? Hear me on this. It will not get you there. But is there another type of work that will get you there? Yeah, absolutely. Can we build a plan to get there? Mm-hmm. We sure can. And our goal is to be a part of it. Our goal is to grow the organization, to grab these additional opportunities, to create it so where we can go, thank God we didn't have to lose you because we want you around, because we love being around you. Here's the opportunity that you really have been wanting and that you deserve, and it's here with us. But if it's not, you're a selfish, miserable human being as a business owner if you don't want the people to leave and go to where they can most maximize what they want. And so it's not, and people think, well, is this kind of a manipulation? It's not that at all. This is just reality. This is every one of our lives. And so, if you think about it, it's worth thinking about, right? It's worth all of us just thinking about a little bit. And so do that. And, if there's anything I can do, let me know. But just be challenged. Challenge yourself. I mean, that's the hardest thing always, whether it's working out or whether it's dieting or whether it's loving people that it's almost impossible to love. It's ultimately comes by challenging ourselves. Sound good?